All right, we are recording. Welcome to the hottest part of the day podcast, episode number 7. I am joined today by my co-host, Tamara Thorn. She's back in action. She's recovered. She's nearly normal, which is saying a lot. That's debatable, but really happy you're feeling better, sweetie, and you're able to join us. Here's Puppy making her appearance. Yeah, we've had an action-packed weekend. It's Monday. It's the hottest part of the day. It's about 1 o'clock right now. We are burnt out, to say the least. But we wanted to come on here and chat a little bit about the weekend, this awesome weekend we just had at the Regen Sesh and the Emerald Cup, and talk a little bit about our upcoming event, the next Regen Sesh, going to be here at our farm at Thrive Homestead on September 21st on the equinox. So we're super excited to talk about that. And we've invited a bunch of our friends on. We'll see who actually jumps on. We wanted to get on a little early and just talk a little bit about our weekend and what we got coming up. Some friends of ours won big this weekend at the Emerald Cup. We're going to be talking about that. Some awesome wins at this Regen Sesh this last Friday. Also, we want to get into that and talk big time about this very special event we have coming up on September 21st here at the farm. How are you doing, Tamara? You've haven't made an appearance on here in a while. You've been going through a lot physically with your body, and
just been doing a lot. In the middle of the day is the time that we can either rest, or I also start doing manufacturing. So I have to jump in and out sometimes. Lots to do out here.
Yeah, even though it's hot outside, that really just means we're moving inside and working on our
manufacturing
other projects. Yeah,
products to infuse and put together and bottle and clean, and it's all lots of processes.
Yeah, well, yeah, awesome, sweetie. Well, we just had a wonderful weekend, celebrating with lots of friends of ours, visiting lots of friends of ours. Started off on Friday at the Lotus Church in Oakland for our Regenerative Farming Guild Session Seed Swap. This was the third one we'd done at the church. A really good time. A ton of our favorite vendors were there. Lots of great small farmers and hash makers. Killer music from Africali culture, a bunch of drummers and DJs.
So these massive drums in, and they really laid it down. It was great.
Set a really good vibe. The church is set up with 2 floors. So when we do the event there, we have lots of vendors downstairs. We have another room off to the side with healing and wellness sessions. My sister Allie was in there doing massage. Our friend Beth was in there doing tarot readings.
Some can-do attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And our friend Nico was over there offering all kinds of herbal remedies and
also his services, doing the different journeys he provides with the Bufo and combo. So we had a really fun array of different kind of vendors and areas. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Stacked speaker lineup, incredible talks all day, a really wonderful chillum ceremony with Jonas, who came all the way from Italy. Jonas Chillum is an amazing chillum maker, a big part of our hash smoking community, and came to the U.S. for the first time in many years, and we were honored to have him join us to share his artwork and lead us through this beautiful ceremony that a lot of our attendees got to participate in. We had a really fun flower and hash competition, our Cured Cup qualifier. This was to win a seat at next May's Cured Cup. And our flower winner was Heart Rock Mountain Farm, our buddy Daniel, with the Jade Skunk. Really special herb, harvested last fall, full term, beat out some indoor and some depth entries. Really awesome herb.
These are genetics that's been passed down to him from it's like generations and generations
from his dad.
His dad within Heart Rock. So it's really fun to see some of those old school win, and it was nice. That Jade Skunk, it was such a good nose on that.
Very
beautiful.
Good
it was awesome.
Yeah, he won some awesome prizes from our sponsors. He won a booth at Canifest, which is coming up September 7th and 8th in Eureka. He won a 2 yards of soil from our local soil maker, NorCal Soil Builders, over here at Kelseyville in Lake County. Some really high quality soil, Bud's Blend, which we've used all our veggies this spring and a bunch of our hemp and cannabis starts. We used that soil.
Everything to start our seeds this year.
Really awesome
Yeah, it was
soil.
really good soil made with like mushroom compost, and it does really great sourcing, and yeah, it's a good local soil provider.
Absolutely. Yeah. NorCal Soil Builders, hit them up.
Yeah.
And he also won a beautiful glass chalice made by our friend Leafy Green Glass, who was vending for the weekend, made a couple of beautiful chalices. So big up to Daniel Heart Rock. We're going to be talking about him again shortly here. But I want to talk about our Solventless winner and our Solventless competition, which is pretty special and pretty unique because it's an open solventless category, meaning it's not separated by rosin or melt or temple balls or piatella. It's one open category. Anybody can enter. And we feel that we bring in some of the best judges in the world who can adequately judge the quality of this against that, even though they're different types of hash. And we ask that our competitors include instructions on how best to consume or smoke their hash, especially if it's something like melt or piatella. What are the best temps? What are the best tools potentially on a temple ball, maybe? So we did this competition last month in July at the first one, and it was all 8 entries that were all rosin. And this month we had 7 entries, mostly rosin. There was 1 or 2 melt entries, and there was a piatella entry. And the melt entry that took it was by our friends Gavin and Taylor at the Golden Turp and Triple G Genetics. It was a tropical cheese Danish melt.
Yes.
We have some in our freezer.
So
maybe we'll get it out and show a little bit at this point. We've actually
so
been blessed with a few grams of that over the last winter by those guys. We're really stoked to see them win. Some of our favorite breeders, and they've had some incredible hash made from their gardens. They're up on
flower.
Beautiful flower.
They do an amazing job.
Incredible medicine makers. Just a really inspiring family. They've been a big part of our events for a lot of years. They first came and started volunteering at our events, and have since just become real close family with us. We really have a lot of love and respect for how those guys farm and how they carry themselves. And
it was great to see them win. That was awesome. And they've been doing a really good job for a long time. So it was good to see them recognized for their work.
We got our first guest getting ready to jump in here. We're going to bring him in here in a sec. Let me introduce him. We got Luke from Black Cat Genetics joining us from Palo Verde, from my old neighborhood. Luke's been with us for a lot of years now, vending at our events. Awesome breeder and hash maker and farmer. And let's get him up on in here. Hey, Luke, how are you?
Hey. How you guys doing?
We're great, man. We're just recovering from the long weekend and looking forward to catching up with a few friends. And
nice.
Yeah, how's your day going, brother? Looks like you got a beautiful sunny day up there in Humboldt.
Yeah, it's really. This is the least hot August I've ever experienced in Humboldt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. Finally, a little break in the weather. Yeah, we had some blazing hot a couple of weeks down here, but it's finally broken over these last couple of weeks. And
nice.
Yeah, right on, buddy. Well, thanks for joining us. You're up on the ridge there in Palo Verde?
Yep.
Right on, buddy. Well, yeah, we're stoked you could join us. Luke, Black Cat. I don't know if you heard our introduction before you jumped on, but we were just talking about what an awesome breeder you are and farmer and hash maker. And it's been so awesome to watch your hash journey develop over the last few years. And yeah, we're just big fans of how you grow, brother. You've won some of our competitions at some of our events. And yeah, you had an awesome entry in this last weekend's event. You had a beautiful piatella entry in there, yeah?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was the beach number 15. It was like a papaya, of the beach I found that I really liked.
Beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, it's got such a good multi-layers of the flavor and stuff, especially when you're smoking it.
Yeah.
That one.
Forms.
At the end of the sesh the other night, the Mendo Maiko pulled out his hookah and was gathering up hash to fill up the hookah, and I carved off a couple big chunks of that entry to throw into that hookah. Everybody got to enjoy some of that. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's complex. Yeah.
Awesome, Luke. Well, yeah, you joined us at the Lotus Church on Friday for the last Regenerative Farming Guild session seed swap. You've been a regular fixture over there at the church. for a lot of dabs and doodles events and some of those Sunday events. You've been bringing a lot of good flower and hash off the hill to the Bay Area, and really consistently, man. I want to tip my hat to you for that, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
It really helps build the community down there. I know every time we do an event there, it's a lot of the same faces, and a lot of those guys always mention your name, that, hey, we're a big fan of Luke. Luke's always got the fire, and we know it. We're big fans ourselves, brother. And,
thanks, man. I'm really stoked. I'm stoked on the community down in the Bay Area and people that are excited to come out to those events and choose Sungrown and help support independent operators, because that's really rad and kind of rare. But it's cool to see that people are starting to get educated and choose, small scale Sungrown instead of some corporate cheap weed.
Yeah, it just takes time for people to wise up. It's taking longer than we hoped, of course, but yeah, people are getting sick of it. And as we see the decline and the deterioration of the rec market and just going downhill, and less of anything going on, and less of anything real, and less of anything of substance, much less any actual quality, is culturally, there's no substance. It's turning into brands and logos and marketing and bullshit. It's just like buying a bag of Doritos or something.
Right.
I love it. Unless there's tiny.
They have like farm style things, where people come and seek out. It's like food. If you went to a farmer's market, you're gonna find more high quality produce than you probably will at a Safeway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, brother. Well, you've been a big part of our events for the last bunch of years, and it's been so awesome to have you come out and represent Palo Verde and Southern Humboldt. We were at the Emerald Cup yesterday, and Soham took home a ton of wins, ton of trophies as usual, as always.
Yeah, props to Dan and the guys from Rebel Ground for just keep crushing it, man. They won with the double OG Chem, double OG Sour for the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That neighborhood really, that terroir up there is something really special, and it really can't be beat. It's really some of the best in the world. That's Southern Humboldt, Northern Mendo, and I was talking about it with Tamara today. Like, it is so much harder to grow weed here in Lake County, where it's 110 degrees for 2 weeks in a row. I'm like, there's some benefits to it, but it is hard, man. And there's nothing like the herb that can be growing up there in the Emerald Triangle, closer to where you're at. It's literally the best weather in the world for growing full term cannabis. It's magical. Yeah, magical. I love it.
Yeah.
So what are you running this year, Luke? Some of our favorites you've had over the years. Of course, we love that yellow passion fruit. Love your dum-dums. We're growing some of the beach this year. You hooked us up with some awesome clones. The beach clone is looking killer. The Jokers are the Bonnie and Clyde is looking really good.
Nice.
We're big fans of your work, brother, and you've been putting a real concentrated effort into breeding for hash, working with some really good hash makers, Arrow, our buddy Jay at Arrow Solventless, talk to us a little bit about your gear and your breeding and the direction that's been taken the last couple of years.
Like the last kind of year and a half, 2 years, I put a big push into breeding for solventless and found some really nice plants that I like to work with. And then I made some crosses with those last year, and I'm growing them out this year. So this year I'm doing Dum Dums cross to Supreme Cream. I'm doing Belts 2.0 cross to the Beach, and I'm also doing OZ Kush F2 by Supreme Cream, which I'm really excited about. And then I also did some stuff that's going to be more geared towards flower. I crossed yellow passion fruit to strawberry gelinade. So I'm excited to see what that flower comes out like. And then I also got a double OG Chem crossed to strawberry gelinade, and I'm really excited for that. The double OG Chem is from Rebel Grown, and it's a strain that does really, really well. Triangle. The crosses of it look great right now, and I'm excited for that one for flower. And then I'm also doing some double OG Chem by double OG Sour from Rebel Grown, and I'm going to be doing some breeding with a male I found in that progeny of seed that I'm really excited about. So stoked to bring some more of the old school gas flavors that that I really learned how to grow up here, that I like basically reminded me of like the stuff that I started up growing when I came to Humboldt. I'm excited to bring those flavors back into the mix.
Well, I'm really excited to hear about that strawberry gelinade by Yellow Passion Fruit, because those are two of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to come out pretty tasty.
It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
Another one I remember we were doing of yours that we have down there is that Supreme Cream. I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah, looking very healthy. We were able to give some extra starts of that to a few friends of ours that are running it this year also. And yeah, everybody looking really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know my history with Rebel Grown, but I gave him his first job out here, and all those first seeds, all the first OGs, chems, and sours were popped in my greenhouse at my old farm down in New Harris there.
That's awesome, dude.
I taught that dude had never made a seed before he came to work for me. I taught him how to keep males and collect pollen and make seeds, and he's gone on to make quite a name for himself.
That's sick. It's cool. That ripple effect has gone out so far, and it's also like coming back right to this core neighborhood. And it's cool that those genetics are still around in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just happy to see the Palo Verde getting some attention. You know, there's so many incredible farmers up there, so much history, and it's sad that so many of them are not in the industry anymore and not getting the recognition for the literally decades that people put in up there. You're talking 50 years now of cultivation up in that neighborhood, or even longer. The man, Bear Gratzel, who sold me my first farm, he moved up there in 1972.
Damn.
And they weren't even growing weed really yet. You know, he talks about when they grew their first seeds, and they didn't know the plant even made flowers. They just let the plant get really big and tall, and then they cut it down and dried it. And it was another few years of growing before they found out, somebody told them about male plants, and that if they killed this one and this one and this one, they wouldn't have seeds in it. So those guys went through a lot of trials and tribulations, and to get to where we have this easy lifestyle and can just go collect trophies up on stage, you know. But speaking of collecting trophies up on stage, we're going to bring our friend Kristin Callahan in here of Magic Meadow Farms. Kristin's been a big part of our regen sessions, a founding member of the Regenerative Farming Guild. And not only did she win our Cured Cup qualifier last month with her flower, she won second place in Sungrown at the Emerald Cup yesterday. So we're going to bring her up here. Woo! And welcome to the show, Kristin Callahan of Magic Meadow Farms.
Yeah.
Champion.
Hi,
big
guys.
winner, holding it down for Lake County. Very excited to have you. Congratulations, sis. How's it feel?
It feels the same, but it's very exciting. I totally love cultivating. I'm kind of speechless still that it even happened. I kind of wasn't such a believer in the competition world because of all the corporate marketing kind of conspiracy theories out there. And I'm actually I'm not a robot. I'm a person, and I have skin and stuff. So it was really weird that I won, and I'm very excited I won because I'm definitely a servant of the plant. I feel very connected to this plant, really. I mean, everything about cultivating this plant has brought me kind of back to myself. In the beginning, it was like really important for me to like connect with how to cultivate it in the most special way. So that's definitely was my focus.
Tell us also about those hugels too. Like, this is all beautifully done in Lake County and your acre of hugels that you built. So
that was probably the most special part of the whole thing, and it feels like it's like the last thing that people ask. They're like, what's the strain? It's like, well, or what's this cultivar? Like, what are you going to grow this year? Like, that's like my least favorite question. And it's nothing personal. It's just like every person has a personal, what things that they're drawn to do, plants they're drawn to cultivate. Sometimes it's cannabis, sometimes it's tomatoes, other times it's sage. Some people are like lavender, and it's personal to every person. But those hugels were sort of the foundation that helped me figure out, my path with this particular project. And it was a very difficult thing to do legally because nobody really understands, my expectations totally. And most people kind of say no to me a lot. So, especially in the government. So when I went about it, I had to go. I'm getting made fun of. When I built this concept in my mind, it was all about how to do hugelkultur at scale, how to maintain the native landscaping. I grew up in big fields, looking at plants and rocks. So this was fun for me, learning about the biology here, learning about all the plants and animals that lived here, and then being able to find somebody who would help me bury 5 acres of dead trees that burned in the 2015 Valley Fire, which the anniversary is coming up. Not always a very exciting thing to remember that our little town got ravaged by that fire. But the really amazing thing is that we took that horrible experience and buried it under our garden in various ways in big swales. And it's kind of a little bit different than your traditional hugelkultur because we built really big swales of very, very large trees, small trees, medium-sized trees, and have been layering them like lasagna layers for many years. So it's definitely not like we just like woke up and had a hugelkultur garden. It was like we had to go through a lot of steps, like asking the Native Americans permission to disturb the land and various other things. So it was definitely like a huge, long process of building something that we knew was going to cost a lot in the beginning, but would pay off now. My fertility bill goes down, not up. It doesn't matter if, what I'm growing. These swales contain all the amazing microbial life, indigenous microorganisms. It holds water in a very dry desert microclimate where wind erosion is like a really big part of our battle every day. So what's really cool about hugelkultur is that it creates this kind of sponge-like microclimate for all kinds of creatures and brings so much biodiversity to the field, especially in this dry desert microclimate. It helps, a lot of those animals that don't have food and water and all kinds of really big benefits to our garden because of that is that we don't have to spray pesticides to keep bugs away. We're using our native flowers and our native bugs to kind of come together on this. It's not easy to do. It's very challenging. You can't grow big plants. You can't grow for long periods of time. It's a very special approach to farming. So you're really dynamic and thinking and planning and not overdoing it and constantly feeding the soil something. Not just the plant, but the soil itself, keeping it covered, keeping it mulched, keeping living organisms there. So it's really big questions. These like whenever people ask me about it, I'm kind of like, well, how many hours do you have? Because I could tell you, but it's an ongoing learning experience, and it's something that I really feel strongly about, and I wish that more people could nerd out and really find passion in sustainability and building their farms this way. But unfortunately, the way the world works is that money seems to drive everybody's decisions. For me, I was really fortunate that I had some very, very good people around me that donated their time, energy, money, resources to helping me do this. And it's taken many years for me to even be able to plant successfully in the native soil without serious fertility. So we've definitely worked on it. I'll just say that it was definitely not like an instantaneous success. It took a long time. And then I think the main reason that it took, not everybody's hugelkultur projects are like take this long, but because I'm in like the serpentine barrens, like these areas where only these certain kind of plants grow, was really challenging to figure out the chemistry here. So lots of scientific testing and stuff on what I needed to do in order to unlock the magic in Magic Meadow. Basically, that's pretty much it.
And I remember you said your testing was like perfect. I think it was the beginning of last year that when you had your soil testing, there was like no amendments that you needed. It was all just, you've achieved this balance. I feel like that's really come out in your flower. Like definitely, as I've known you, your flower just gets better and better. And it's like, it's mind blowing. It's beautiful. I'm so happy that you won. What was the strain? Tell us your strain.
So this strain was the Airhead. It was like I only could get a small amount. I mean, I do a very different style because, like I said, I don't grow from like April to October or November. I grow usually. I'd like try to plant later, like July, and harvest in October, November. It cuts back on the water. It cuts back on like all the things we just talked about. So the Airheads wasn't planted until very late July, early August, I think it was about, really, it was like, it could have been the second week of August. I know I got them in late July. And I was really, really drawn to this plant, and mainly because of it had this like really interesting vibration. I can't explain exactly why. I don't know much about the breeder. I know a little bit about him. I like him as far as like the work he's done in other companies, but I was drawn to this particular variety because it had this Basio gelato kind of nose to it. And so and I didn't know that immediately, but when I harvested, I was smelling it and like feeling it and looking at it and watching it grow. And the plants themselves were only like 4 feet tall. They're really short. So I was like, okay, this is going to be like, we're not going to get very much. We had 96 plants, I think, total, but we got a pound a plant, which was really or almost a pound a plant. And, pretty interesting. I think it would have been better maybe inside for most people, the way, if you look at like the, kind of like the background of why it was bred and where it came from, but it actually worked really well in our microclimate because of how dry it is here. So we can kind of get those denser, thicker buds because we don't have the humidity and the rain that a lot of other microclimates are contending with. So this plant really, really liked it here. And it definitely stood out to me as being, it was actually planted next to the caffeine, believe it or not. So I don't know if that section, because all the soil is so different across the field. This is not like I went in and like I didn't go in and like, some people will say they're in the native soil and they'll dig out the native soil and then put in like growth medium. This is not like that. This is cool. It's the clay and all the minerals, and we use compost, but it's really beyond. I mean, I'm not adding really anything except compost that's really designed specifically for what the soil needs. So like nothing is overkill. It's just very simple. So the Airheads got planted really late. They were really small plants, but they were incredibly, I mean, the nose, the structure, the look was probably the most unique besides the Lazy Lightning. I feel like those two are my favorite. So that's kind of it.
Kristin, where can people get that herb right now? Is that on shelves already, or is that hitting market soon?
It is actually, there's a really, this group in, I guess it's Modesto is where it originated. Patient Care First is a franchise, a self-made entrepreneur. Bert, he owns, he had started actually 3 months ago with 8 stores. Now he has 10. So he's growing and expanding. This person has been buying flower from us since everything kind of fell apart in 2020. I worked with several distributors that never paid me. He would buy the flower and pay them, and then I wouldn't get paid. It's really sad. So finally, he's actually distributing our flower through all his stores. He bought all 9 varieties, and there's a limited supply. So the Airheads is there. There's 8 stores that are carrying it out of his 10, and I'm really hoping to get into more stores. But unfortunately, I am only one person, so now I'm kind of focusing on him and those stores there's one in Santa Cruz, one in Turlock, Tracy, and they're all the Phenos, Flavors, PCF, that group. So the really, really amazing guy for all the small farmers out there. This person really looks out for self-made, small companies.
Kristin, are you wanting more distributors to reach out to you if they want to get some of this Emerald Cup winning flower on their shelves? We need to put the call up here.
Call me up because I would love to connect with good people. I'm always open to meeting more people. Actually, when I won the caffeine, we at the Cured Cup at the Regenerative Farming Guild sesh, I probably got more phone calls than any other awards ceremony. I was like, wait a minute, well, wow, immediate response. So I just want to give you guys props for the kind of integrity that you carry and the talent, Joey, Tamara, that you guys encompass. You're really, really amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, we're just honored to have this community around us. I mean, we are one part of one big entity, and just honored to get to do our little part to help further everybody's mission. Thank you, Kristin. Thanks for sharing with us.
That's beautiful.
We're joined by Luke with Black Cat Genetics with us up in Palo Verde, and our buddy Alex Scherma is on here. Alex might join on at some time. There's our buddy Alex. Alex is head chef at the Ganjier campus up in Southern Humboldt, Salmon Creek. And Alex is going to be doing the 5-course hash pairing dinner here at our farm at the next Regen Farming Guild Session Seed Swap on September 21st. We're super honored to have you joining us, Alex. We've been big fans of your work for a while, and we saw you were part of an awesome dinner this last Friday in San Fran. And anybody that follows the Ganjier pages has seen Alex's cooking, and it's works of art. We're excited to see what you can do with some of the bounty from our garden and our community, and really excited to see how you pair this food with these incredible hash makers that are going to be joining us. Welcome to the show, Alex. How are you doing today? Are you still down in the Bay, or have you made it back to Humboldt?
We actually dipped down to Slow for a couple days. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. But yeah, so we're out of the Bay, but not back in Humboldt yet, for better or for worse. Super stoked about the dinner. It's gonna be an amazing time, and getting to work with all that fresh produce is gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, Alex, tell us a little bit about your pairing dinner experience and how you got into that, and how you combine your loves of cannabis and cuisine.
Yeah, I mean, I've been making edibles since I was in early college. It just was, it was like an intuitive choice to make because I had the ability to, and people wanted to eat cannabis. That just kind of was a lifelong passion for both food and weed, which tend to go hand in hand. Down the line, I went to the Ganjier program, and it seemed like that was the natural next step. Sommelier pairs wine and food. The same thing is, very applicable to cannabis. And so I started kind of just doing mock dinners that eventually went into real dinners. And the first one was with with the iPoppy team, which is who I did the dinner with the other night. I wasn't actually the chef. I was just kind of helping as a Ganjier. But I did a dinner with their Whitethorn Rose, with Huckleberry Hills Whitethorn Rose, and it was literally entirely that variety. And the feedback from that was really positive. And so kind of just kept spiraling from there. My background is in like plant-based cooking and like processing, and those things are basically the same thing at the end of the day. Cannabis is just another plant that we kind of like weirdly segregated because of its drug uses, but in a lot of ways, all of the processes are things you see in the kitchen. So like when you take out all the solvents and all the weird shit we use in large scale processing, you're left with things you can very, very easily do on a countertop in your kitchen safely, because it is at the end of the day a plant and a food source and a nutrition source. And so being able to bring those things together in a way that shows how the plant so effortlessly works with other things, with other foods, and the synergy that comes from that. Like we talk about the entourage effect in cooking. I mean, in cannabis a lot. For me, that applies to everything I'm putting in my body. If I'm going to be high all the time, everything I'm doing is modulating that high. Whether that's the experiences, the set and setting I'm going in, the foods I'm eating, the other terpenes I'm interacting with. And so I try to be conscientious about what I'm interacting with because it's going to affect my high, man.
Yeah, so true, Alex. Thank you for sharing that. And, you know, cannabis is so cool, and hash in particular, with all these terpenes that are so unique and distinct, and some like strawberries, and some really taste like garlic. And I mean, what a fun thing to pair with. Yeah. What have been some of your favorite flavors and some of the things you've explored with, and what's it been like to come to Humboldt and get to work with some of the best hash makers in the world? You literally have worked with some of the award winners from this last weekend's Emerald Cup at this last dinner.
Yeah, totally. It's been really just a dream. Like it's been an absolute honor. The different expression is hash kind of puts like a olfactory magnifying glass on what you're smoking. Like smoking itself has a lot of complexity, but hash will show you exactly what flavor you're experiencing from that really sharply. And it gives you really strong opportunities in pairing, not only in like similar things where you can really easily replicate the flavor and go like, okay, this tastes like strawberries, and I'm going to use it in a strawberry dish, but really in a way where you can use it in synergy with what you're making or what you're eating. So you can almost look at the hash as like a sauce or as like another accoutrement to the dish itself so that the flavors blend well. And when I approach food, it tends to be multi-component where all of the things on the plate work in synergy with one another rather than being like isolated ideas or like over focus on one thing. I mean, the variety I've gotten to work with the most that's been really the most interesting culinarily has been the Whitethorn Rose. It's absolutely a culinary cultivar, and it's like its flavor is really what shines. And its ability to handle heat is unique for that kind of profile. So it's been really amazing to get to work with them from Huckleberry, and the whole iPoppy team has been really supportive and has really loves pushing the culinary aspects of their brand forward. So it ends up being really, really great in that way. There have been quite a few varieties that are up there. There's Sunrise Mountains growing an Ashram Kush that's like incredibly cheesy. Lena from Canna M Gardens, she had a Frutas 2 years ago that was so like complex and cheesy. I actually used it to flavor a vegan cheese, and it was like the base flavor in the vegan cheese. Not decarboxylated. It was like actually the flavor component, the spice that was used. And so it's been really cool to get to interact with it on that level and have brands that support experimentation with the product that's not about like direct infusions the way we consider it for potency, but actually utilizes the plant in ways that are interesting.
That's rad.
Yeah, that is so cool, Alex.
That is super rad.
Yeah, we're big fans of the white thorn rose, the hash, and the flower. Anytime we can get our hands on it, it's always something special.
Yeah, definitely a treat. And I just love it. It's so beautiful too. At the same time, it just tastes so good.
Gorgeous plant.
What you're saying about culinary cultivar.
Yeah.
What an interesting thing to think about as we're breeding and as we're
Uh-huh.
selecting and as we're making hash. A whole nother level to
That's
this
a whole
whole
other
thing.
level. You just like clued in there about how to use it too, instead of heating it, to be able to use those terpenes with it being in its raw form as you're infusing it. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's the next step in processing, right? Is this this very acceptable at-home processing where we're just interacting with the plant in a way that we would interact with like a melon or a tomato or anything else. And that is, it's to me, it's one of the fundamental phases in normalization of it as a produce.
What is the viscosity of the sauce when you're mixing it?
What do you mean?
Like when you're making these these ingredients, what is the texture of like this? Is it thin? Is it thick? Like how is it used within the
like if I'm doing a direct infusion?
Yeah.
It completely depends on what I'm doing and how I'm trying to infuse it. So actually most of the dinners I do are paired. So most of the infusions I've done for the dinners have less to do with like infusing potency in there, but more to do with infusing flavor in there. So a lot of times it won't decarboxylate the product, and so you won't actually get high off of it. You'll just get a really strong flavor. Other than that, I'll do water-soluble emulsions that will allow you to flavor beverages with the rosin. And then I'll usually have like a tasting oil that people can add directly. And sometimes that'll be like a flavored oil, or it'll just be flavored with the cannabis and decarbed in a way that retains the terpenes so that you actually experience the flavor of the flower a little bit.
Wow, you just blew my mind. So that's going to be Jesus. Now that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And 100% now I'm going to have to follow you around.
Cool. Yeah.
You're
please
amazing.
do. Reach out. Thank you. Love your story too. It's really great hearing you.
Yeah, Alex, it's been really awesome for us to get to know the Ganjier community. We have done a couple of talks for the Ganjiers a couple of times now on their weekly Zoom meetings, and that's been really fun to share with that community. There's a lot of gatekeeping in cannabis when it comes to knowledge and education, and especially around people that have been doing it a long time are very gatekeepery, and people feel like, especially just so many people got the short end of the stick. So people are highly critical of any program that teaches, and I know Ganjier has caught heat just by nearly existing. Even though you guys have brought in incredible educators and have stuck with it and have created an incredible curriculum and have done so many, it's become so much bigger than it originally started out as. And what's blowing us away is the community. But best for us is meeting people who are passionate and excited and interested and curious about cannabis right now. So many people in our community here, the minute the money left, the spark left their eyes, and it just became Bummer City. And to meet people right now that are entering cannabis or have been in cannabis but have new excitement and vigor for it, it helps breathe the fire back into it for us, which we always need. It always helps to fan the flames. And so, we want to just big up the Ganjiers, the Ganjier program, and we've made great friendships through it, great connections, and really been awesome to meet folks like you. And
what we've seen too is like whatever it is, this Ganjier program really draws in those passionate people. So I feel like that we're just so much to say for that. Actually, I love that the program is, and so whatever it is that they're doing, and they'll bring a year together. I think they're doing a good job. So we're really happy for y'all, and I'm so glad for the community that it's all drawing together, and that we're getting to meet. And there's these passionate people out there that are becoming educators and helping other people, and it's just beautiful. So
Totally. No, I feel 100% the same way. I came to this community from being in my basement and getting a little cynical myself. And the term I use is like non-cynical. It's an incredible community of people that are passionate, excited, not really cynical about what they're doing, and want to see the people around them succeed. And it's something that's rare in any community or any industry, but especially in something that's as turbulent as cannabis, because it can put you on edge. It can affect your nervous system. It can affect your relationships. And historically, it really has. And I think what Ganjier is doing, creating, it's hard sometimes to explain something that is emerging, right? And I'm not going to say new, because it's not necessarily new, but it's emerging into the public light. And we have so many wonderful producers, processors, growers, cultivators, farmers, retailers in the space that don't get the light they deserve, don't get the space they deserve, don't get the recognition they deserve, don't have the resources that they need. And having a class of people that are really looking to take, not necessarily, and we have people from all parts of the industry, people from dispensaries, people from cultivation, people from everything. But at the end of the day, what Ganjier really is doing is it's creating a class of professional cannabis consumer, people that want to take the actual smoking of weed very, very seriously and perpetuate positive practices within that space, advocate for positive practices within that space, and promote those who are bringing us clean cannabis. For me, like, I've grown cannabis my whole adult life, but at the end of the day, what I really wanted was the ability to smoke clean cannabis all the time. And the best way to have that be true is for it to be available everywhere for everyone. And we are moving very quickly towards a future where, like, boof is going to reign supreme, and we can't have that. That's not a good thing. And so I'm really appreciative for everything the Ganjier community has done for me, all the people that are in that community, because it really is a community. It's all of the leaders that put it together and have been pushing it forward and holding space for that. And then it's everyone that has stepped up since that moment and continued to come out to things, continued to advocate for things, continued to put the ideas forward and take that motivation and do something with it. And it's just great to be a part of that energy. It's a positive thing.
Oh, that's super rad. I love that. That's beautiful. I like that, the professional consumer. And we've got to witness that when we've done some, the tastings with y'all, and hearing the way you're able to describe in such detail what the different flavors are. And I'm like, wow, it's really great. And it definitely just educates on that level of actually experiencing it. Because you're like, yeah, that is what I'm experiencing, but I'm not able to put it in words as well. So yeah, there's just some good education within it. So we're very happy that it exists and that this community is here and it can really help. Yeah, I definitely see how it can help other and so many different parts in the industry in so many different ways. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's really great. And shout out to the whole Buddhist community too. They're really doing a great job putting feedback out there, and putting reviews out there and putting the information out there. And I think, like, we're one of the only industries where people put out products without focus groups first, where we don't have the ability to check in with consumers before we put a product on the shelf. And it's detrimental to, like, the entirety of consumer packaged goods. And as it moves more into the world of consumer packaged goods, we're going to have more and more of a trouble with that at the end of the day. And so the ability to, like, not just know this is good or this is bad or people like this, or not just know the trends, but know why the trends are happening and what people are experiencing, like, when they're actually engaging with what's on the shelf or what's actually in people's hands. It's just so different from what we experience on the hill or in our different realms, and being able to share that language and share that information is it helps everyone rise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for that, Alex.
Yeah, thank you for that dive.
Hey, we want to welcome our buddy Bert Heyman to the show. Hey, Bert.
Hi. Hey.
You're muted, buddy. I'm going to try to unmute you. Yeah, still muted, homie. You're muted, Bert. You got to unmute yourself.
I'll say hi. How's it going? Everyone's having fun, and great to see you guys.
Yeah, great to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Anybody that doesn't know, Bert is our head judge at the Cured Cup qualifiers that we've been running, and you were a huge help this last Friday at the Regen Sesh, Bert. You kept things running smoothly. You kept all our judges super having a good time. Everybody was all smiles all day. And yeah, you did a great job tallying up all that math at the end, which is why we picked you specifically.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm still learning, still learning all the way. Because everyone out there is so inspiring for me. So that's why I have to do a great job. So,
Buddy, you did a good job.
Yeah.
How we're let's talk about this month's entries a little bit, because we mentioned a little bit earlier in our show how we do this open solventless category with any type of solventless hash can be in there. And our first month's event a month ago competition, it was all rosin. It was 8 rosin entries. And
yes.
This time we had, I believe, 6 rosin entries and a Piatella entry from our buddy Luke, who was just on here with us a little while ago. He just dropped off. And our buddy Gavin Turp, who ended up winning first place, had that melt entry and had really well written directions on how best to consume that hash.
Really nice. Yes.
Which may have made all the difference. If people aren't as experienced dabbing full melt, or you just don't know, and it might take you a few dabs to get the right temp, and by then you might be ripped. You might have smoked a couple really hot charred dabs that might have burnt up your palate. Talk to us a little bit about this month's competition, how that went for you running it, and what did those entries look like? Let's talk about the hash entries first.
So the hash entries, everyone, they didn't know that. They thought it's only about rosin, but then at the end of the day, they knew that solventless, it's supposed to be anything, not just rosin. And today, this month was amazing. Unexpected people that joined, and there's like amazing hashes, amazing rosins, amazing solventless, and also for flour. Very nice. Let's go back to the hashes. What's fun about this is that I let all the competitors have their instruction, so they will fully experience the real terps and everything, instead of just like keep smoking it. So it's fun right now because they have their fair judgment and everything. And yeah, I wish I could like taste any of that, but I trust all the judge. And what I love about it is like everyone's in the same page. Everyone was like onto it. I was like happy. I was like, man, this is nice. And I can't wait for the next one. That's all I can say for the hash.
Yeah, so those judges were pretty unanimous when it came to the hash. They were all pretty unanimous that melt was hard to beat, huh?
That was amazing about it. And also the instruction for each of the category also helped. Because I believe without it, they won't fully experience the what category they have there, like the hashes. I recommend all the contestants to do that. So the judge will fully experience it, not just smoke it and then taste it. Yes.
To know what your rosin or your melt or whatever it is that you're in, like what it goes on. It's that's key.
Yes, that's the key.
And we had some very awesome special guest judges for this
Yes, we
one in
did.
both of our categories. But we had the Dank Duchess come out, who was a very one of Frenchie Cannoli's apprentices and incredible educator and longtime part of our hash community. Came all the way up from New York. And we had Nika T come all the way out from Colorado. Real honor to have Nika T in the building with us. A couple of the most experienced hash makers in the world. Judged a ton of competitions. They just come from Guam, where they had judged a cannabis competition in Guam. So we're really honored to have those guys alongside Jeffrey, the owner of the Press Club, Jay, owner of Aether Green. We had a stacked lineup. We had a special guest judge that won his seat in the competition. Yeah, a great lineup.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. One thing too I'll mention about Miss Dink Duchess is that she puts out a lot of education online, and she's one of the people that I learned fully, like just watched her video over and over how she did her temple balls. And if you ever want to Google her information, look her up on YouTube. She puts out a ton of free education out there, and she does a great job of teaching. So just want to shout out to her.
In the spirit of Frenchie Cannoli, all of his apprentices, Belle and Lena and Dank Duchess, all really share. That's really what he was about, was pass this knowledge along, make sure you share it, teach it, and we can all keep evolving. And oh man, look at where this solventless community is now from 7, 8, 10 years ago. And Frenchie was first dropping his knowledge on us. It's just incredible as we've seen these entries just get better and better every time, and new tech be developed every time. And yeah, it's really fun. And yeah, our friends at the Golden Turp, who grow in Hugel culture, who make their own inputs, who we know.
Hell yeah, yes. That's unexpected when who wins, who? Who's man. It was very amazing.
Very amazing.
It's really beautiful stuff. And that was a lot of beautiful hash in there. I will say that. That was a really competition, and they had amazing judges for that one, so that was a cool win for them.
Everyone's amazing. Everyone inspire one another. That's the main thing. Everyone's having fun, and we're all learning. Especially the dry farming was wow.
Yeah, absolutely. We had an incredible dry farming demo from our friend Beth at Can Do Attitude from up in Humboldt. An incredible dry farmer. She's from one of the only areas in Humboldt where you can really do this amazing dry farming. And she comes through with all this sand and the tools from her farm, and it's really something that has to be heard to experience. It's really incredible.
Something they really don't water, and you need to hear the breakdown of it. It's a whole other way of farming that it really takes a certain kind of area, but it's incredible. Talk about sustainable and regenerative.
It is, yes.
Anything. It's powerful, beautiful flowers too, because they get so much of the stress, and it's just the way they develop, and it's amazing. Yeah, the flower is usually extremely potent. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because those plants aren't watered, they're constantly searching for water. They're constantly stressed out, and one of those stress reactors is to stack on resin and stack terpenes, and it leads to some of the terpiest material for extraction. So some of the farms coming out of there, High Water Farm, our friend Crystal, who has Urban Market, the retail in Arcata, she has an incredible farm there. Our friend Sunshine at Sunbolt Grown has an incredible dry farm there. Really some of the best flower and hash to come out of Humboldt County comes out of those dry farms. And they have a small group called the Dry Farming Alliance that Beth is a part of. She travels around to a lot of events. She'll be at CannaFest with us.
She has her tarot card. She read tarot while we were at our event, and she's going to be there at CannaFest as well doing that.
Bert, tell us about those flower entries. We had a small flower field this month, but some really awesome flower. Our buddy Daniel from Heart Rock Mountain Farm went on to win
hell yeah,
skunk, and then he went on to win 2 trophies at the Emerald Cup this weekend as well. He won 2nd place with Love Laughter and the alternative cannabinoid, and he took 4th place in Sungrown with the Lemonhead OG again, which he did last year, which is one of our favorite plants. We grew
Fourth
it
place.
last year and had a jar of it with us, so we were really happy to see Daniel. But yeah, tell us you know, it's a tough time of the year to have flower entries because depths are really fresh, outs are really late. You know, people are feeling
Mhm.
insecure about their outdoors, but Kristin beat out some indoor entries last month with her outdoor entry when she beat those guys down for the Cured Cup qualifier.
That
So
was very shocking. Wow.
we know that full term cured really well and
Mhm.
put away well, that it's as good as it gets this time of year. So as
Yeah.
Daniel showed yesterday or on Friday. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that, Bert. What were those flower entries like?
Well, the flowers entry was amazing, even though they're only like 4, but they are nice. And again, congratulations to those winners for the hat, for the solventless, and the for flower. For the flower, they were they have a nice category. It's unexpected. Um, the fourth one, there's one over there by forget the name. It's like number 4. You can't see it by what's it look like, but then when you smoke it, it's there. So I mean, you can't really define the flower by looking at it. So you really have to dig into it. So again, for the judges, everyone again is on the same page. That's how I'm amazed about it. With the flower, I didn't judge. I smoke it, but while I smoke it, and I did my own what you call that, my own judging, but no points. And after that, I looked through it all their papers, and we're all on the same page. It was like really amazing, and I think the winner was he deserved it. It's really deserving, and all the other people who joined really inspired us because it really you can't really define the flower by looking at it, but you need to really put it inside your body. So thank you all, and yeah, it was amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, with some really
Great.
skilled judges in there. They're not judging on looks alone, clearly, or
No.
the indoor probably would have won last month. These people
Yes.
are really taking the flower apart. I saw you guys with magnifying glasses,
Yeah.
getting in there,
We have
breaking buds
serious
apart,
judges.
looking for contaminants, and really smoking it and really taking the time to feel the effects. And it's a lot easier when you only have 4 entries to really dive in deep.
There's one over there supposed to be good, but then when we magnified, we see some stuff inside, and yeah, it's just I don't know. That's the only make it.
That's why.
And so, and also some of them are not with the same quality inside. There's like some of them have a different. I don't know. Some of them are dry, but then with the same buds, but it's like doesn't have any smell. So we really put ourselves into the shoe of who's the consumer, you know. So if you're a consumer, you saw that piece, and then it's not like kind of why is this not the same? It's not doesn't have to have smell anything. So you will kind of like like a negative for them. So it's just one of those like we found for those flowers. But
Yeah.
but everything's good. Everything's nice. We still taste it. Everything's fair.
Yeah. Awesome.
That-
Man.
There's nothing like we're not gonna smoke that because there's something on it. But then no, we need to smoke it.
Well, we actually have the last of the entries here. We don't have jar number 4.
What
But
number is that?
I got jar number 2 here.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
You know which jars these are? I got a little bit of left of number 1 here.
That's the black cat.
Black Cat, Dum Dums. That was jar number 3. Kristin Tamara's like, hand that over. And a little bit left of jar number 3.
Right there. The Gelato 33, right? Yeah, that's amazing.
Kristin's entry right here. This is the new depths, the fresh depths, right, Kristin? Oh, you're muted, my dear.
Yes.
Oh, you're muted again.
Whoops. Oh well.
There you
That
there
was
you
my first legal depth run, if you will. It was very, very different than what I normally do. So I was curious about that one.
Bert, what was this entry number 2? This looks like some really kind of sticky depth, and it does feel kind of wet too, like kind of fresh. Remember what entry number?
Let me get the list.
That's nice.
That looked like mine, actually, the gelato. Is that 3 or 2?
Number 2.
There you go. Oh, hers is number 3, and number 2 is Daniel's.
This was the winner. This was the skunk. The jade skunk was
The
the
skunk.
was the winner. Yeah, that's as impressive that this is almost a year-old outdoor. It's it's got such nice moisture and give to it. I thought it was a fresh depth, honestly. And
I would have guaranteed. I thought that, and look how pretty it fucking is too.
Really
I thought it was
frosty.
a depth too. Wow, no, that's amazing. Wow, that's super stinky.
a little
Could
of
you
that
put that? Could you put that flower up close again so I could see? Let's do that. It almost looks like an OG.
Yeah, it does actually. Looking at it in the jar, it does kind of look like an OG. The smaller buds.
It's called the Jade Skunk. Then the name of the strain.
His dad's favorite strain. You know, his dad's been up there almost 50 years on that farm in Mendocino, and
That's interesting.
they're coming up on their 50-year anniversary on that community there. And this is some of his dad's favorite smoke, so he keeps it around. And Dad's still up there on the farm cranking it out, doing the thing. Yeah, so Bert, Kristin, Alex, we're all going to be up here on the farm September 21st for the equinox and celebrating the harvest. And we're really excited. We haven't had an event up here since the 2023 Cured Cup was the last time we had anything here. So we're really excited to welcome everybody back. We've got a lot of work we have to do to prep the land and get our stage ready. We're currently sleeping on the stage. That's not in our bedroom summer. So we literally fuck on stage when we can. That's a big joke. Funny. And we're going to do it for you guys September 21st. No, we're going to get our bed off of there so that we can have the amazing Rocker T. He's going to put on an incredible headlining show for us. And if you haven't seen Rocker T, he's like nothing else. Incredible reggae dub artist, has this incredible sound setup that's like the old 1970s
Analog
dub DJ thing. It's wild.
He sings. He'll like start chanting. Like you might get a chillum ceremony beforehand or during the middle of it. He'll like play music. Like it's. Yeah,
Rocker T is an experience to be had. And so he's going to be closing the show for us that night. We've got the Reverend DJ Cody DJing all throughout the day, keeping the vibes going. Tamara is going to be leading us on a farm tour. We're going to be in the middle of our harvest of our regenerative hemp garden this year. It's looking really well. It's moving along really quickly towards harvest.
Like stacking fast. I'm like, whoa, okay, all right, wasn't expecting that.
So probably about half of that field will be down already, but the other half will still be standing, and we'll be able to tour and talk about the Googles, show all our different farming inputs that we use, our different ferments, and our couple different gardens that we have going this year. And then we're going to do a live recording of this, the hottest part of the day podcast. We'll be bringing some of our hash makers on to talk about the event and some of their entries that we're going to be pairing. And yeah, it's going to be a fun day. We'll have the hookah set up. It's a family-friendly event. You can bring the kids. There's a whole kids zone and a whole playground, and there'll be a gang of wild mountain kids running around. And what else we got? Seed swap. Free dab bar, all the things we love.
I'm gonna do the mocktails, and so we're gonna work on that one too.
And then the big for a handful of special guest ticket holders are going to get to participate in this very special 5-course pairing dinner with Alex, our head chef of the Ganjier program, using our produce, using some of our local communities. goods and produce, and pairing it with incredible hash makers, Resin Ranch Extraction, Wooksauce Winery, our local hometown hero, Kenjana Extracts, our new friends, Dreamstate Solventless, who we've been so very impressed with their hash coming out of Willits, and our very own Blissed out. So we're very excited to have these incredible hash pairings to pair with this food, Alex. Yeah, we can't wait, man. It's gonna be a really special one. If anyone wants tickets, they can DM the Thrive Instagram, Thrive_Homestead, and they can get tickets right there. It's a private party. If you've done this previously, it's very easy to get the invite. If you've got a blank profile, you're probably not going to get a response. So we're happy with community members, and this is our home. So we want to have a really good time here and really welcome a really fun bunch of folks to share this experience with. This is our first dinner that we've done. It's something we've dreamed about for a long time. Tamara's really been wanting to do it for a long time. She's been a big part of a raw food community and vegan community for a long time, and has expanded her culinary horizons since. And
very much so. And I used to cook large amounts of food for large amounts of people and a different lifetime, and kind of ready to get back in some of that. But I'm so happy to have Alex here to just kind of see how it's all done, and can't wait to. I love everything Alex does. And for me to say that is it's something, because I'm very much into nutrients and sourcing and just what it nutrient rich, but also tasting very good. And I've seen Alex do all those check marks. And so I'm just very excited to host this and be able to provide like some of the food and the herbs and reach out to our community. We're still pulling all the things we have together, but it's like we have a beautiful farming community around us that we can tap into. And it's going to be a really yummy, delicious, nutrient-dense meal and fun experience with all the different pairings from the different hash makers. And yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for everything you do.
Absolutely epic.
Oh, it's totally fun for us. It's otherwise we're just total homebodies. We'll just stay home on the farm unless we so it's much easier to have you guys all come here. It's even really convenient this go around. But yeah, we're excited to share the farm. Everything's looking really good this year. Our gardens are really pumping and really lush and pretty, and we're pumping out more food than ever right now. And yeah, we're really excited to see you work your magic, Alex.
I'm glad to have it be also the kids around too a little bit more. So I like to be able to have it just like a good, it's a good vibe when it's family friendly.
I think there's going to be some amazing synergy. Really.
Yeah, the more we can.
Yes, it will be fun.
The more we can normalize all this stuff, the better. And I think our community does a pretty good job of showing that we can all be responsible adults, parents, and still have a good time. And yeah, I'm really proud of this community, the way we're all showing up. And let's talk a little bit about this weekend's Emerald Cup. We talked about the Regen Session a little bit. We were all down there at the Emerald Cup. Bert, we missed you, unfortunately, but Kristin, so happy to see you down there. We didn't know you were there. Tamara was about to go collect your trophy. And
yeah, congratulations.
You were actually there.
I was not going to leave there.
I was going to leave. No, I was like, okay, I got second place. Okay, I'm going to leave. And then I get this phone call, and it's Tamara saying, so you need to come get your trophy. It's now or never. And I'm like, what? Trophy? Oh, there's a trophy? Because I just assumed that, Rebel Grown got the first place, and that, I don't know, I just didn't think that there was a trophy for the second and third. So thankfully, Daniel said something, I think, to Tamara, and then Tamara was like, yeah, I'll get it for you. Like, wait, I'm here. Where exactly is it? So
after he said he still didn't have his from last year, I was like, nope, no, we got to get this trophy. We got to take those pictures. it's well earned, and so I'm glad
No,
you got
definitely.
yours,
Dope.
and glad Daniel got his as well. So it's beautiful.
No, really, really amazing. And I honestly, the Ganjier program seems very like, to be honest, it's like the first time I got I got reviewed by the Buddhist group for some of my flour, and I had like the worst packaging because this was like when I was trying to do work with, I don't know, I'm not gonna go into it, but they were like, they totally reviewed our flour and gave us the best, like most amazing review, and I was so amazed at like, I didn't give it to them. I think it was they got it through the Women's Cannabis Cup. But that community is striving so hard, and I just wanted to speak to that. When you were talking about it earlier, like those reviews they gave me, they were like, don't judge a book by its cover. The packaging isn't like some LA, crazy exotic, but it's what's inside that counts. It's like what is in the package, and that the descriptions and just the way that they assess flour is really, and their care for the community, like other things have happened and they really speak up for like the farmers and especially the small businesses. So I can't say enough nice things about them and what they're doing for like the overall community of people that are still trying to operate. Really, really great.
Kristin, you're holding it down for small farmers in the rec market. You're going to the Emerald Cup. You're surrounded by all these corporate entities who want to smash you. You walk out of there with the second place trophy. No big deal. No big whoop, What's that like right now? What does that feel like, to know that like you got the goods? This is an industry that is trying to make a small farmer disappear like they never existed so they can just homogenize the whole factory model. Does it feel like a little bit of a David and Goliath? You've been at it many years now, from the legacy now into the license. What's it feel like? Do you feel like things are starting to change? Everything takes longer.
Oh. This is a very, thank you for asking that, because it is a very good question. I think for small farmers, the truth is that nobody wants, like you said, wants to give the answers to the test. Nobody wants to give the recipe, and I want to give the recipe because you can what you learn as like a craftsperson is that everybody can be given the recipe, but not everybody can do the craft. Even if you had all the ingredients, even if you had the best of the best, you're still you. You can only do what you can do. And to strive, to grow, to change, to get better is kind of ultimately what I think being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner, and growing up in that mindset and watching my family go through that really gave me like the understanding of how hard it was going to be, and it is a really heavy for me to. In one way, I'm really excited and ecstatic, but it's a responsibility to also, you're winning the Emerald Cup. It's like you're winning that recognition, and like what you do with that recognition is what's important, even more so than the flower winning and getting good medicine to people that's not full of chemicals and not harmful. But it's how you take the ownership of that win and help uplift the small farmers and give them inspiration to continue, because I'll tell you that was like the 40,000th time, and I can prove it in my metric tags, that I planted to win second place. It wasn't like, oh, I just walked up and I won. No, it was multiple times of losing and reformulating and rethinking it that helped me to get there. And I think that the big corporations really hate it when they put all this money and time and effort into something too, and they feel like because they have more money that they're going to win. But what I've seen in many other places, like in my life, where you start at ground zero and you're kind of like climbing up that ladder, it's the people that worked in like the stock room that packaged all the goods. It's the people who swept the floors and built themselves from the ground up are the ones that have the tenacity and the perseverance, not always the people with the money. You can like wake up with a bunch of money that people gave you, or you could like wake up with a lot of integrity and character, and that you took those losses and that you turn those losses into wins. And that's really ultimately how I'm feeling right now, is like I went through a lot to get that beautiful glass trophy, and that trophy means more to me for the small farmers because it shows that you can win. You can win. You just have to keep trying. You have to keep going out there and meeting the people that are buying your flower. And I think, Joey, your events and me being able to connect with people through my other farming products like the pigs, that diversification and that permaculture mindset of like having 7 streams of revenue and being able to emulsify your farm into a real business that has a lot of different ways to make money and not just one, is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like, wow, this is a huge responsibility, but also a huge win for anyone who's female or underprivileged or underappreciated or feeling that way, that you're not underappreciated and that your work matters and that people that really love it are going to support it. And it's not so much the award, but it's like, how does it do in the store? How do people feel that are working around you? How do you feel about what you're doing? And that's what keeps people going. I really believe that. Regenerative farming isn't just going out there and building hugels. It's like you're being a part of the ecosystem, and branding and having your own little product line is the same. You're creating, you're part of an ecosystem, and like whatever you can do to uplift everybody is ultimately what these wins are about, I think, the most.
Yes, absolutely. Love all that.
Yeah, beautiful, Kristin. Yeah, thank you for saying all that. Yeah, we're just super proud of you for holding it down, and we know how hard you work. And you're not just a farmer; you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a community member, you're a community
Strong
organizer.
She's the one who first came up with the concept of the Regenerative Farmers Guild.
Absolutely.
Created the logo. Mm-hmm.
You created an incredible event here in Lake County that brought us all together. When I first moved here to this community, we first met you at a meeting about beautifying the entrance to Middletown. We met you at a completely non-cannabis thing at all. It was just a community
Totally.
thing.
I know. That was so cool. Something that, like, when I met you, Joey, because Tamara introduced me because you had just moved down here, there was something, you were so quiet and you had such a peaceful energy about you. And I had been through such a hardship. And like, when I met you, there was just something, you had just something very unique. And I knew you were going to be a significant introduction. And you have been such a leader. I mean, aside from everything else that you're doing, you really are a very genuinely sweet person. And that's very, 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 very hard to find, by the way. And I'm not trying to like blow stuff up your ass, because we all are not perfect, but it's hard to find real people, and it's like, those things that we do in the community, they're not cannabis related. It really shaped the way that people view cannabis. And I feel like that's kind of what I feel so strongly about connecting with you and Tamara and just the Thrive community, and just being a part of that thriving ecosystem is making sure that every single part of it is doing well, not just the parts that make us feel good, but like all the things that are annoying, like signs or chairs and tables or, parking lots and security. Like, it's all important, every single part. And that I've never seen anyone handle that kind of pressure the way you have. It's very special, very cool, and very grateful for you guys. And you're not paid enough. Wish that maybe manifest in the future for you, that there's a little jar at the bottom of that event that says donation for Joey and Tamara for all the effort and love that they've done. Please donate to them.
Oh, we love you, Kristin, and people like you and Bert. Like, you guys have been such a big part of our events over the last couple of years, and people don't always know, but you guys have done so much behind the scenes. And Bert came in as a volunteer, helping in a lot of those parking lots, making things run smoothly at a bunch of events, and doing the tough jobs that other people didn't want to do. And Kristin, you made all these incredible signs for this last event that we're going to be able to use for many events. at our camp, Heal Thyself, you transformed our greenhouse into like a magical light depth wonderland.
That was amazing.
It was so magical.
It's really
And
beautiful.
we're gonna be back in the greenhouse for this dinner with Alex for the dinner for the Perry dinner.
Oh.
So we're so excited to be welcoming everybody back to the farm. And yeah, you know, I grew up in
about that couple of things,
Yeah.
ideas.
You know, I grew up in community at Hartwood, you know, this massage school up in Humboldt that my parents founded. There was about 100 people there. And it was a bunch of cool hippies out in the mountains surrounded by cannabis farms. And I always felt really safe with a lot of people around me, really close, like a tribe, you know. And then growing up in southern Humboldt, that cannabis community was a greater tribe where we all really looked out for each other. There was a lot of closeness, and you know, there was a lot of risk with what we were all involved with. So there was a lot of tight-knitted community, secrecy. It was different, very different than it is now. You know, it fostered some good and some bad. A lot of bad secrets had to be kept because police could never be called, but a lot of good sprung out of that tightness and those bonds and those relationships. And I think I'm always seeking out that community and people I can really trust and form those bonds with and rely on, that I feel like can rely on me. And I love that fair exchange, that feeling of like, we're all in this together. We're all helping each other out. And I know Tamara's lived in a lot of community, and that's what she's always really been seeking. It's what we've been trying to build here at Thrive. You know, with our friends Noble and Sierra, and now our friend Sean living here this year has been so wonderful. And
we have Kinder,
our other lander mate Kinder, who's been here with Tamara many years. And with these events, we've found that community with you guys, with Bert and Kristin and Alex and Sean and all the people that do these events with us. It's so fun. And
you know, I'm more thankful for you guys that I am accepted to this community. I'm really thankful. I'm very, very grateful.
You are
Like,
such a bright
it's just
star,
like,
Bert.
I don't know. That's why I know. I just like I'm forever grateful. I mean, because I'm learning from you guys. And like every time I'm there, I mean, it's inspiring me to do better. Like, oh man, this is amazing. Like new faces and new friends that I'm learning from them, and it's making me grow. I love it. It's like no money can buy that. You know, it's like I'm not even looking for money. I'm just happy to be there. It's like
No,
really inspiring, and like whatever I learned from you guys, I'm really gonna share it to my country. Like, I really, it's amazing. Yes, it's really. I'm very grateful, thankful. I don't know if there's any other words beyond thankful and grateful. I mean, I don't know. You guys are all inspiring, man. It's just
we feel your love, Bert, and
we put it back.
just can't explain it.
You don't have to.
It's so real. Yeah, I think
So yes,
people feel it when they come to the events. The energy there is great. The vibes are really good. You get to really connect with real farmers and real hash makers and real pig growers, pork farmers.
You're doing what we want
yes.
to do too by sharing that, you know, by passing it on. And that's massive that you're able to do it with the community. You know, that's amazing. So yeah.
It's because of the medicine.
Bert, why don't you give us an update on what's going on in the Philippines? Because I know you guys just had something big happen there since we even talked to you last. It was kind of in the beginning stages, but tell us what happened.
Yeah, it's like the beginning stages of medical. Like they gotta consider it as medical only, which is nice though, rather than becoming a recreational. So medical is like, so you know, they can better understand it. Also there's like, you know, movie coming out, so people like a common movie about weed, and then you know to better understand it for like, you know, normal people who would understand weed over there, because over there they really brainwash you that weed is like a hard drugs that when you take it you will kill people, you will steal, like you do bad things. That's how it's viewed over there. And yeah, it's really amazing right now that they're gonna view it as medical and medical only. And I saw a news that they were trying to make it an overseas, like when they legalize over there, they want it like, you know, so they can ship it overseas
Export.
and export, like, yeah, and then vice versa, which is it's gonna be a big thing. And I think a lot of, hopefully here in US will allow small farmers to do that, and it will be amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine that. It's gonna be like fruits, vegetable, and just benefit small farmers too. It'll be nice. But hopefully no other things that will, you know,
I just want to
block
put out
that.
there CSA. Like, that is like the best thing that ever happened to small farms and agriculture. People think it's organic, but I
Yeah.
had this discussion with somebody else a while ago. Like, that would really be the best for everybody if we could get that farm bill, and like the no, and
Right.
forget the reclassification, like decriminalization. I mean, is the only way for us to have like a regular life as a farmer. So I mean, kudos to the Philippines for probably going to do it easier than we did it. That's for sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think they're extra careful. I don't know, because they don't want it to be like, because before that, like prior to this, what happened like a couple years ago, it's the drugs over there, man. Like the meth. Oh man, it's all over. It's like consuming the people there inside
Yeah.
until it got cleared out, and then now, I think they're trying to avoid that situation again. Because people over there, they don't understand. So I mean, but the education, that's why we need to
Absolutely.
get over there. Yes.
I'd be curious to hear if the meth rates in Thailand have gone down since they did their whole big legalization push. I know that it was really bad, throughout a lot of parts of Southeast Asia.
Yes.
And Thailand just went so hard with cannabis the last couple of years. I wonder if getting all that medicine freely out on the streets really helped at all, helped cut down on those other drugs at all.
That'd be rad.
I think my cousin lives in she owns a house in Southeast Asia, and she said, I asked her, I was like, hey, do you want to start a cannabis farm? Like, I'll help you. And she's like, Kristin. I'm like, well, I'm just saying. And she's like, no, you have to be a citizen there to have a farm. So there's some really different laws there that are kind of protecting like the people that live there from outside big corporations coming in and like just crushing them. So that's kind of a cool thing I heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have to be a citizen to live there. I mean, I don't know if it'll stop them, but
No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, those kind of localist, those Colorado initially instituted some stuff like that. You just put a local person on your board, you pay them next to nothing. I mean, it's the same way all these equity programs were exploited. You put somebody, people are literally selling themselves as equity applicants that put me on your board, cut me in for X amount, and you will have this golden ticket to getting your permitting. So unfortunately, like every good intentioned thing is often exploited. And same thing in Thailand. You had all these Western companies come in, partner with a local Thai guy, and boom, you have Greenhouse Thailand. You have all these Western companies have moved right in and really taken over. Our good friend Eric, HBK Genetics, moved over there a couple of years ago. He has a Thai wife, and moved to work for a company that was a Western company that had partnered with a local Thai guy, and things have gotten bad. Their contractor screwed them over on the build, had no clue what they were doing. They didn't want to listen to Eric. They wanted to listen to this guy who was selling himself as the expert, but had no experience. And they blew all their money on this build out. By then, the law changed. Now Thailand is talking about repealing everything and being very strict again. So yeah, it's looking rough over there for the industry. We had over there, put in a year, and he is back here in the States. He moved his family back. Yeah. So
sometimes, only the indigenous people could actually us white people get out of there. The corporates, you know what I mean? Just let the locals and people be able to do things without these big money and big corporations trying to come in. It's just disgusting.
Well, yeah, cannabis has a long history in Thailand of the Hill Tribe people. When I was there in the 90s, we were buying flower from the Hmong Hill Tribe and the different hill tribes up in North Thailand, up around Pai, north of Chiang Mai. And getting good bud, getting green bud, and finding green bud that was coming out of Cambodia. And,
that's cool.
So there, and we definitely follow some people on Instagram, some native farmers there, indigenous farmers in Thailand who are growing these beautiful giant sativas and super unique genetics and stuff we would never see here or even be able to grow
we got
here.
To keep. If we don't keep that, it's just gonna. Yeah, just gonna go away.
So that's the other thing. They're being flooded with Skittles and all runts and all the West Coast genetics and West Coast flower was being flooded out there to those dispensaries that all opened in Bangkok and Pattaya and Chiang Mai. And so you have a consumer-driven market that looks at Instagram and wants the stuff that keeps winning the cups. Not our cup, not the Emerald Cup, but you know, what's the hot flavor of the month? They think of these old Thai indigenous landrace strains as being some inferior thing. If they really knew what the real heads out here are really curious in, we want to explore those land races and find those old or undiscovered terpenes and old, you know, undiscovered cannabinoids. There's still so much to discover about the medicinal effects that we haven't found yet. So. Anyways, I think I got really high off that flower. I got kind of rambly there.
Yeah.
But it's like vice versa right now. Over there, they want what's over here, and then here we want what's over there.
The crazy thing is that like the plant, like it really kind of absorbs its atmosphere, you know, its environment, and so it, you know, you really pick up the person, the people, the culture in what comes from all those special places, and that's what makes everyone so unique. But yeah, like you said, people don't want to be unique. They want to be like everyone else, and unfortunately that's kind of horrible. But whatever.
The seeds and that keep our that know how to do the growing there and the small farmers safe.
Bert, will that medical law allow your regular citizen small amounts of cannabis to use for medical use? Will they be allowed a certain amount of grams, or will they be able to go to the doctor and get a prescription like we had
that
medical
times? I didn't know yet, because I think they're just gonna reconsider it right now, and then we're gonna wait for another. Yeah. So I didn't know yet.
There's a lot of have had so much success. I mean, you know, Israel being the probably the oldest with medical cannabis. I mean, they were a huge leader. There's no denying that.
But what I notice right now is the police over there are more active right now. like before they didn't even know, like they didn't, like, you know, but now they're more active to look into that stuff right now. So that's the more I notice.
That's good. Well, how can we help? Do we need to get more of our, teachings translated in Philippines, or how do we help?
Yeah, that's even better if you have translation like that. Yes, that will help, because over there, whatever we're doing here, they're doing it over there, like the fermentation and stuff. But then they think, they think that what they see online, like social media, are the best, like, you know, the bottled stuff. The indoors.
How do we teach them Korean natural farming?
Not Korean, not Korean, but you know, but we not really like Korean, but we like the fermentation like that. Like, but we don't call it Korean.
Indigenous
stuff. Yeah.
Of course, they know what they're doing. Oh, of course.
And then
I know that like Japan. Like I was telling my friend about jadam like recipes and the book, and like we were reading it together, and she's like, this is just like regular cooking. This is just like how we eat. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then we need to be more like you. These older, more established cultures, you know, they've embedded this in their lives. It's just it's normal. You know what I mean? And it's like some of these things that we're doing are weird for us, but not weird for other places that don't have the resources, you know,
Yes.
buy things in a bottle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and Master Cho, who created Korean natural farming, his early writings, he talked about how he learned this traveling through all of Asia, traveling through Japan and China and the Philippines and Southeast Asia, that he learned all these types of techniques and
Mhm.
combined those teachings into what became Korean natural farming, and now
Yes.
a lot of what we teach in Jadam comes from those same teachings.
Yes.
A lot of
And
very
everything,
simple
it's very much-
fermentation,
Mhm.
using your indigenous microbes. Really just paying close to nature and really just manipulating things very little to get in line with nature. And such a fun way to grow. We're just having more fun with it than ever and seeing what the possibilities are.
Ancient knowledge that we're having to relearn that people others have been doing forever.
I'm like, I love being humbled by like the older cultures, because like in America we think things, but when you go and you find, I mean, I don't know if people like do that anymore, but I know for me, I'm always looking for like the oldest person I can find in like an old culture. Those are the people you want to, they're like the people that have all the answers. It seems like, I mean, the elders are just like whatever, thrown away in America, and in other countries they're like uplifted and used as like a resource and like wise and really honored and sacred, you know, their energy. So that's what's so amazing about, you know, natural farming is actually finding those people and those practices and doing them over and over and over again.
Right on, you guys. We're coming up on hour 40 here. We're gonna wrap it up before 2 hours. Kristin, why don't you give us the rundown on some of the strains you're growing this year? I know you're pulling down your depths right now. You got a bunch of new flower coming in, and then you got some full terms. Let us know what's hitting shelves and what we can expect. You told us where we could get it, but maybe you could just tell us that again, quick too.
Well, I'm really focused on trying to find some different genetics. So I have this oil spill that I'm growing. It was in I have a bunch of seeds I've been collecting from all these sessions. So I planted a bunch of seeds, and so I've been pheno hunting for a little bit now on this oil spill and this Durban GMO that I got from a breeder in Colorado. That's planted out there. And I'm also doing like some of the regular ones I've been doing, which are like the gelatos. We have the airheads that just came down in fresh depths. So like the wind from the Emerald Cup, we actually have fresh depths of the Emerald Cup of the airheads. So they're going to be ready soon. Probably going to hit the shelf, I would say, like within the next few weeks, just depending on logistics. There's already stuff available, like I said, at the PCF flavors stores, and then we do have one local shop that we've been in for quite some time in Lake County, in Clear Lake. So we have that one, and then we also are kind of hoping to really branch out into some new stores in Vallejo, and possibly go back to the Bay Area and some other locations. But basically, we're going to be having like our basic menu that we've had, which isn't very basic. It's like 17 different flavors. So they're rotating them in and out. And a lot of new things coming. But the Blue Andes is kind of my new favorite that I feel like might be pretty amazing. So you can be looking forward to seeing that probably November, December. That's when we'll have that available. So really amazing stuff coming up, and hoping to expand our menu more and more, especially with all the new way that we can cultivate at our farm. So we have more fresh materials, smaller batches, and highlighting more unique varieties. So
That's awesome. 17 flavors is a huge menu, Kristin, for the rec market. That's amazing. You know, we see a lot of rec farms. They're putting out 6, 8, maybe 10 flavors. So that's stunning. And we love smoking your flower because you always have the hottest new strains from the big rec nurseries, or the award-winning nurseries, and you grow them in those incredible hugels and regenerative fashions. So it's really exciting for us because normally if we want to smoke those kind of strains, it's or indoors, or not in the best practices. So we're always happy that we can get that stuff from you. You're always up on what's new. What the next hot big thing is going to be, and
Thank
we
you.
love it. Yeah, big congratulations on that second place win at the Emerald Cup. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's one
Very
of the
hard to do.
that's the, for Sungrown. Emerald Cup really put Sungrown on the map many years ago, and has really helped shine the light on this community and all these incredible farmers, and really stiff competition.
Was
Can I say one thing that I think is really positive that I see coming?
Yeah.
I am seeing, and I feel very badly for the indoor market, but I see people really being drawn to Sungrown because of the versatility of the plant in that environment. You're never going to get that expression in an artificial scenario. And we're finding that people are seeing that. I'm finding that people are my flowers on the table with a lot of different varieties and a lot of different methods of farming. And I'm seeing that I'm getting more money for the Sungrown.
Let's go. Pick up Pate.
What'd you say? I'm getting more dollars per pound for Sungrown than I had in the past. I mean, the price is still way lower than it's ever been, but I feel like it's lower across all methods of farming. But I see Sungrown as being very unique and not something that everybody can do well. So for those people who are doing small craft Sungrown farms, don't stop, because there's going to be a real draw in the future for Sungrown flower. Anybody anywhere can set up a room and grow artificially. I wouldn't say anybody. There's really some amazing people out there cultivating indoor, but it's very hard to find these microclimates in Northern California. And I believe that Sungrown, in its best light, we haven't even seen it happen yet, but it's going to, as soon as the market shifts and we're moving towards like complete legalization, we're going to see a huge draw for just this style. And it's going to be those small farms that really focus on quality and varieties that are going to make it. And it's not about what you win at those cups. It's about perseverance and being completely consistent and diving deep into the things that you're good at your farm. That's what I really see is the cultivator is going to shine, and Sungrown is going to be the choice, because it is just, you cannot match the turf. It's very hard to find. Very, very hard to find.
Mm-hmm. So true, Kristin. Yeah, thanks for laying that down. Mm-hmm. And what a point to make. The Sungrown small farmer is a dying breed, and there's less and less every year, and they're not making more of them. That's for sure. And
very hard to do. You're dealing with all the elements of the weather all the time. It's not because you're a bad farmer that the rain came. It's because that's what happens.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to do, and good luck to everybody. But I really do believe in Sungrown. I think it's the way of the future. It's the best. Mm-hmm. Can't match it.
And yeah, these terroirs are so unique. Each little community here. Hey, come over here. Come here. You're gonna have to go get her. Hey, come here. These terroirs and these communities, each one is so unique and can lead to such different expressions in this flower. I mean, everybody grows it so differently, but we could all have that same clone and it could come out so completely different. So yeah, I would encourage people, get out there and explore these small farmers while they're still existing. You can literally go to a dispensary and request this stuff. Request Magic Meadow Farms. Request Heart Rock Mountain Farm, request Ridgeline. These guys are out there. They still need your help and your support. Just because you see these guys winning trophies, they don't give a big cash prize with that trophy.
No.
These farmers get this trophy because they have grown the best cannabis in the world. If you want to smoke the best cannabis in the world, you got to go to a licensed shop and get it from them. So hit them up in the DMs, find out where you can get that stuff. And follow them on Instagram, and go right here to Magic Meadow Farms. We got it on the screen. And make sure you support Kristin every chance you get. Buy her pork. She offers incredible ganja-fed pork. She offers all our events. She's going to be at our place on the 21st with a cooler full of it. And yeah, we love you, Kristin. We couldn't be prouder of you for holding it down for Sungrown, for Lake County, for lady farmers,
for all of it.
Everything for small farmers. You're the real deal. We salute you. We love you.
We love you so much. Thank you so much for your support, you guys. Seriously, thank you.
Absolutely.
You too, Bert. So nice to finally like kind of connect with you. These
I'm more
last
thankful
days.
from you guys, man. Come on.
He's the best. I love him.
Everywhere we go, give Bert a follow. Here's Bert's IG. Bert's doing a beautiful backyard grow. Bert is always sharing and spreading good knowledge and positive vibes and smoking weed every day. And we love you, Bert. You bring such energy to everything you touch. And
I love you more, guys. Come on.
yeah, we love you.
We love you.
I'm more thankful.
You're a total pro. And thanks for keeping our competitions running so smoothly. We're super excited to do it again next month. We're going to run competitions so people can win some judges seats again, a flower seat and a hash seat. So watch when we post for that and make sure you follow the rules for that. This will be coming out on YouTube in a few days, but this will be available on the Patreon for a few days. Anybody wants to support these podcasts, go over there and join for $5 a month. You can help support the show. And yeah, what else, babe? You've got something coming up next week you want to plug?
Oh, we have tea and tarot at the Cauldron downtown in Middletown. We're going to meet on Thursday at 6 p.m. and just have a fun little meetup of bringing all our tarots. We have quite a few decks there for sale and just for having fun with. And lots of different teas. So we're going to go and just gather and chill and, yeah, sip tea and divinate. That's this Thursday at the Cauldron, downtown Middletown at 6 p.m. And we're just going to go till whenever. So.
And tell us about the Cauldron. What is the Cauldron?
Oh, the Cauldron. The Cauldron is our new little shop that we've created. It has all of Heal Thyself Gardens products. It has a whole facial care line. And then it has a lot of all the different herbal tinctures from the gardens and from that I've wild harvested. And then it has our CBD and CBG tinctures. And then we have pain relief and first aid salve, a lot of just self-care products. And then we have an apothecary we've been building upon with different bulk herbs available. And then we have a lot of fun witchy items that we would say just for like different colored candles and different incenses and books and crystals and some fun items that you just might need. So,
yeah, head over to Tamara's Instagram and you can hit her up there, get directions and more info about tea and tarot. That's going to be a fun monthly gathering.
It's going to be a monthly gathering. So this is our first one and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be just really.
Tamara, your products are amazing. I love the good stuff. I use it, I think, every other day at the farm. It's like my main. I actually need to come get some more from you. I'm running out. So please, if anyone gets a chance to go check out her stuff, like she is 100% like makes the most amazing topicals and tinctures and everything that makes you feel good.
Thank you for that. Yes, the good stuff is our pain relief, and it works. It definitely works, and I love it. And that stuff has helped me recently a lot with any injuries I've had. And it is made for joint pain, muscle pain, for trauma. If you fall, injure yourself, put it on immediately. It helps the swelling go down and the pain. The root is in there. I love teaching about the cannabis root. The root has so many different medicinal properties to it, especially for our joints. And I mean, the root actually, like, it helps our cells regenerate. It's powerful. So all parts of the cannabis are different medicines. And I just love working with this plant and have a lot of formulas. I enjoy putting them in. So I have the little shop that I get to share our wares in. So that is what the Cauldron is. So come join us.
I love your sign. It's so amazing.
Yeah, that was great. C&B Laser Design did that. Local guy, have you met him?
No.
I'm trying to see what is. Trying to remember his actual name right this moment. He's an amazing woodworker, and like all of our little pins and our little keychains that we have done all come from him. And we really love working with the C&B. And it should be hung today, but today the sign is supposed to be up. We had to order a special lacquer for it because we didn't want it to be a chemical-based one. We wanted a more natural lacquer for the sign. So it came in and all the coats are on it, and he is actually installing it downtown today. So I'm excited to go check it out when I go to get my little.
Yeah, very exciting. We also want to thank Luke. Black Cat Genetics was on at the beginning of the show. We love Luke. Been a big part of our events for a bunch of years now. Always brings the fire. Out of Southern Humboldt, Palo Verde. Everybody go hit up Black Cat Genetics on Instagram and show him some support whenever you can. He's going to be here with us on the 21st as well. And then big shout out to Alex. I'm going to put Alex IG up here. What the damn health. Everybody go give Alex of the Ganjier a follow and stay up to date on all his events. He's going to be preparing that incredible 5-course pairing dinner here with the hash of Wooksauce Winery, Resin Ranch Extraction, Kenjana Extract, Dreamstate Solventless, and Blissed Out. So we are super excited to be doing that event with him and providing a bunch of the veggies and goodies for that. So everybody wants to come to that. Get your tickets at Thrive Homestead on Instagram. Hit that link. Send a DM there saying you want tickets, and we will send you that link.
Yes.
Very excited to have everybody up here at the farm September 21st. Have Rocker T here joining us. All the good food. Kristin, we hope you're going to be here with your pork, maybe slinging some sliders for us.
You know I will.
Awesome. And Bert's going to be here running that competition. We're going to have another Cured Cup flour and hash competition. We already have some incredible prizes. I talked to the press club today. They're putting in one of these beautiful Frenchy cannoli temple ball rollers that just came out that we were showing off. That we were gifted one recently. They put that in for the winner of the solventless category. So we're super excited to see what other prizes we can gather for our competitors and just celebrate the harvest with everybody out here at Thrive. Do our farm tour and smoke the hookah.
It'll
And
be the autumn equinox. So
celebrate the harvest. Yeah, we're going to do a live recording of this podcast. So thanks you guys for joining us. We love you guys. You guys are serious fans. Yeah, we love you guys. Thanks for putting up with us and showing us so much love and support. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Big ups, y'all. Much love. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.